I'm remembering how America's Man of the Year always wanted me with him. Uh, when I didn't like him and he didn't like me. Now, I'm remembering like the first time he took me with him. Uh, this was quite noticeable. He got his first job as a doctor down in Norfolk, Virginia, and one night he's called into the hospital, and he takes me with him. I'm only 5 years old, okay, and I go. He's called in for some reason. I think it's because there's been a car accident, and he's going to go look at a patient, right? So we go in to the emergency room together, and I see this man on a stretcher, and he's just covered in blood. He's been in a car accident, I guess, and his shirt is off. I think all of his clothes were off, and there's like a sheet kind of tumbled around him, like over his private parts and so on. But there's like blood all over his chest and his face and the rest of his body, blood all over, And I looked at that and I thought, Jesus, 5 years old. Now, uh, you know, this thing where the Man of the Year had to have me with him. I'm wondering how that fits in with my having been an illegitimate child. Uh, I've recounted the story where we've come back from Norfolk to Silver Spring, Maryland, and we're living in Forest Glen, and it's around Christmas time, and we're out sledding at night. Uncle Fred is there, and the Man of the Year is there, and my mother and Aunt Rosemary and my siblings at the time, my older sister and younger brother, 4 years, and I'm not sure if the youngest brother had been born yet. Anyway, we're out at night and we're going to sled down that road that goes by that church. I think it's called St. John's Church. They're in that community. And the Man of the Year gets into some kind of argument with a group of young people who were sledding as well. Because, I've said many times that the Man of the Year was a nasty drunk. He was not a nice drunk. He was a nasty drunk and mean, and he was a bully anyways. When he drank, he was worse. So he was in some kind of argument with these young people. Now, I was riding down alternately on his back on a sled down that street, and then at other times on Uncle Fred's back. And what started happening was the crowd of young people there. When I came down the hill on Uncle Fred's back, they were cheering, yay, yay, and maybe even clapping too. And when I came down the hill on the Man of the Year's back, they were booing. Boo and boo like this. It was getting very ugly. It really was. I was only I was 5 or 6 years old. And the next thing you know, the Man of the Year is saying to me, "Come on, AJ, come in the house with me." Now, he doesn't say that to my mother. He doesn't say it to my older sister or anybody else there. And he takes me into the apartment house nearby there. And we go in the entrance, and he stops right there and he says, he starts to explain himself, and he's saying that bully there with the big muscles well, wants to fight me. He said, I'm not going to fight him. And I'm looking at him, and what am I thinking? I'm thinking, you back down from that fight. You're a coward. But I'm thinking sympathetically toward, no, I did not like him. So he takes me in the house with him. And he did that throughout my childhood and adolescence. He was taking me with him, even though he didn't seem to like me or me him, and he didn't take the other kids. For example, if he wanted to go to a baseball game, I guess, I didn't know why he did this, but every now and again, it would be like, I don't know, 5, 6 o'clock, and he'd say to me, put on a nice shirt, we're going out. Like this. And he would go out to like a Washington Senators baseball game, taking me with him. He didn't take anybody else. He didn't take my mother. He didn't take my older sister. I mean, she could have gone, right? Take my younger brother 4 years. He was always going to just take me. And he did this not just to baseball games, but a professional football game. Right? I remember going to see the Washington Redskins this way. Just me and him. And he took me to a Georgetown University basketball game one night. You know, he takes me with him to buy clothes. He wants to buy new shoes. So I remember he's driving out the old Georgetown Road toward Rockville, and it's summertime, and there's sprinklers out on lawns, and lawns have been mowed and all, and it's a nice summer late afternoon. Let's say it's Saturday or Sunday. He's going to go buy shoes, taking me with him, and I just don't understand. He never takes the other kids. And to that also, any kind of yard work, it was me, nobody else. If he's going to do yard work, plant bushes in the lawn or do anything, it's going to be me there with him by his side, nobody else. It's always me. So I'm wondering what the symbolism of that is. To me, it's a reflection of the distinctive place I had in his family as some kind of problem for him that I don't know how to say this. It's as if he having come from a kind of deprived background, the son of a coal miner, whose parents were separated. So he grew up pretty much from the age of 10 on, alone with his father. And having come from that deprived background, he's now down in Bethesda, Maryland, among some of the wealthiest folks in the United States. And I think he must have felt at times like I don't know how to say this. He had no right to enjoy himself at times. There was some kind of anger issues here. And if I'm an illegitimate child, okay, then if he has me by his side, he's saying, look, can I buy some clothes for myself? I'm taking care of this kid in my house. He's not even mine. Are you going to let me buy some clothes? Can I go to a baseball game and drink some beers while watching the game? here's a kid in my house. He's not even mine. Is it okay if I do this? So it seems to me that he's always having me around this way was some kind of a way of arguing that if he somehow felt guilty for having things, I was justification for his having them. Since, as I say, he's paying for me and taking care of me. Shouldn't he be permitted to enjoy this or that or have this or that? Now, why I was always the one to be doing the yard work? None of the other kids were. Just me. And, it was like, oh, God, no. He's going to plant bushes, and I'm going to be there by his side. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. It's going to be me. Well, as I say, I think this is more evidence that I was not his biological son. And this did present a problem for him, and that's the way he solved it. He always had me by his side as a kind of signpost saying, he's been screwed. And so he should have the right to some enjoyment. I think that folks who have been deprived or lived in deprivation can feel this way. I haven't looked into this in terms of research or trying to study the psychology of this kind of thing, but having been through all these experiences, this is the way this kind of thing looks to me now when I'm looking back over things. Now, when I was growing up, I never had the slightest suspicion that I might not be his son. It never occurred to me. However, the oddness of me being the one to do the yard work, me being the one to go on these outings and nobody else, then me being the one to be put down in this refinished basement. And I'm thinking, I'm going to be down there like the king of the family, with this whole remodeled basement down there and my own bathroom, my own room, and the entire basement to myself. I'm thinking, why am I being put down there alone like this? I don't get it. The king of the family somehow? I thought, I don't understand this. Well, at the same time, I was the best student by far in the family. And I was the best athlete by far in the family. And I was the star of the family in so many ways. So maybe I thought, because I did so well compared to everybody else, that's why these attentions were being devoted to me. But now that I'm an old man and I'm looking back over things and considering all the other things that happened later, I'm saying, I didn't understand correctly what was happening, and that I should be singled out that way. And now, from the point of view that I'm seeing these experiences as an old man, I'm saying they all point to my having been the son of some other man. Now, I did want to say this. This is really the thought that got me to make this recording. He used to always be saying to me, okay, that's not you. It's not you should be thinking about something like this. This is not you. Now, he never said this to any of the other kids, okay? And it was like, it's not me who's, look, for example, I remember I'm in this bizarre argument with him over what you would call today health care for everybody, universal health care, right? Back then, I think that discussion was in terms of welfare as a means to everybody being guaranteed what was called welfare at the time. Everybody being guaranteed medical care, whether you had money or not. If there was welfare, which is like social programs to take care of the poor, and to pay for their medical care, if you had that kind of program for people, everybody could get medical care when they needed it. And I remember I was, having this argument with him, that saying to him, everybody should be able to get medical care. It's ridiculous. Because you don't have money, you can't medical care. And man, did that upset him. So that was one of the times he said, listen, you shouldn't have ideas like this. Not you. Not me. So the way he was always singling me out this way, it tells me now as an old man that I was not his biological son. And he knew. And of course, there was always his saying to me, you never let me be a father. You never let me be a father. I never let him be a father. What does that mean? He wasn't my father? Is that what that meant? It seemed to mean that. But at the time, I never suspected that, because I guess maybe because I would have thought that my mother, who I was closest to in this life, I trusted her so much, was so close to her. I guess I figured that I wasn't conscious of anything, but the way I operated, I guess it must have been that if my mother never told me this kind of thing, it doesn't exist. So she never did, and so it never even occurred to me that I might not be this guy's son until later. When I looked back at the horrific things he was doing to me, the older I got, even trying to murder me, I'm saying on more than one occasion. And one time he almost succeeded. 1982, he almost succeeded then.